Fiverr CEO Michael Kaufman tweeted that freelancing and coaching is dead. And that's coming from the founder of one of the biggest marketplaces for service providers. And a research roundup found that roughly 30% of consultants had formally adopted AI tools in their workflows, making consulting one of the leading sectors for AI uptake. I guess the bottom line is, if you're still running your coaching business like it's 2020, you're in trouble. And I've been running my service business for about 7 years. And maybe in the past 6 months, I just started to get clients that, email me that saying they don't need my copywriting package because they're just going to use ChatGPT instead. Now, it turns out that the copy is usually really bad, but that's beside the point. Because if the client feels like it's good enough and they feel like they don't need you for part of the things that they were having trouble with, then mechanically the value of our offer is going down, even if AI has a long way to replace us. But let me explain. When a client hires a coach, they're looking for an expert, right? They're looking for someone who can answer questions, give them feedback, map out a plan, tell them what works, what doesn't, and has the experience to back it up. But the truth is that AI has kind of democratized this, right? Any LLM these days can generate a custom strategies in seconds, provide instant and detailed feedback, really. Create implementation plans faster than you and I can, or just give feedback and respond 24/7 without fatigue and the impatience that you and I can have. And I'm not just talking about information here. Obviously, for the past 20 years or so, with the advent of the internet, that's been readily available. If you have a question, you just Google it and you get the answer. What we're talking about here is deep expert knowledge that all of the deep research feature on any LLM will give you access to. Because you may be an expert in your field, but AI can really just pull out the top 20 experts in your industry, summarize what they think, and even the adjacent industries, and then respond to the client's question. That is really what we're trying to compete with here. And I think AI is shifting what the client is going to expect and what they're going to be willing to pay for. They used to pay for access to your brain. When you're selling a coaching service, that's most of what they're paying for. But now they can just ask ChatGPT 24/7 pretty much for free. And let me take an example, for instance, for a business coach or consultant. And their offer usually looks like this. They're going to, ask you some questions to understand your business and your problems. They're going to do some research to, adapt their core program and templates just to make it more customized to you. Then they're going to give you the plan. They're going to help you implement the plan. They're going to give you feedback and, help you make some adjustments to actually attain the goal or solve the problem that you had. And that's pretty much the playbook for most coaches. I know it's usually a bit more than that, a bit more complex, but again, just for the sake of example, let's just go with a simplified version. And what you realize is that, that's going to take a few weeks and hours on Zoom calls. The coach might forget some of the details that the client mentions. They don't have infinite memory. To get a response from the coach, you're going to have to wait for them to reply to your email or to be available to jump on the call. That's going to be dependent on their availability. They don't have infinite patience, and they charge for their time, and anything additional that is outside of scope is going to be something that you're going to have to pay for. Now, let's put this side to side with what AI can offer. It will pretty much do all of this in just a matter of hour of chat and prompting. You won't forget things that you said before. Now, I know there's a context window and that, LLMs don't really have infinite memory for now, but it's getting so much better that most of the time, they're not going to forget some of the big things that you talk to them about. It will reply 24/7 pretty much instantly and costs about $20 a month and don't charge you for anything extra. And it does have infinite patience. Now, that doesn't make us coaches irrelevant, but it does force us to evolve. If you're just selling support and knowledge, you're getting squeezed. Now that we have a good picture about why we're potentially cooked, let's get into specifically what you can do to adjust and change your coaching offer and services to not get replaced by AI. Because in this new wave and era that's coming, coaches still have a few USPs. And here is a clip that I've seen recently that I think really capture this.
We only have one thing left. We have our muscles, which we got rid of in the Industrial Revolution. And then we have our intellect, which is this digital revolution. Now we're left with emotions and agency.
So they talk about EQ, and I think the first USP that we're going to have is that we can build a deeper relationship with our clients. Because look, at the end of the day, we're still human, and having a real person walk you through the process is still going to be valuable. But if you used to have a pretty transactional relationship with your client, when it was just emails and here is the money, here is what you need to do, okay, here is the deliverable, then that's not going to cut it anymore. Now, something else that I want to mention here is that it still requires the people, the client, to even know what to ask to the LLM. If you don't even know what to prompt and what to ask, then obviously you don't know where to start. And having a real person you can interact with and helping you uncover those issues and really what you're trying to get at, that also will be something that AI quite doesn't do well. It can, craft a prompt from you, it can have a conversation, but it's not going to be as good at identifying the problems and the things that you really need to focus on. And I've seen this interview recently where they talk about this, where again, people don't really necessarily know what to prompt and what to even ask the LLM in order to get a response for what they're looking for. The second USP that I think you're still going to have is going to be, turnkey systems and tools that you can give to the client. And that's still something that AI is not doing really well, is actually creating assets. I mean, if you're, let's say, a YouTube coach and you help people create good thumbnails, AI can help you sort of describe what you're looking for a good thumbnail, but it's not a template that you can just plug and play and something that you can use directly. You can have to start from scratch, and that's not something AI can really help with right now. So those are the assets that you should start building in your coaching business, just to add into your offer and add more value. And again, something that AI can't really do right now. And then another USP that I think coaches still have is that we're still better at keeping someone accountable. I mean, AI can send you, nudges, reminders, but there's nothing that beats someone raising their voice on a Zoom call with the client. When the client really sees that they're accountable to a real person, their coach, then they tend to take a lot more action than just when they get an email reminder from their AI system. So what does that look like? I think there's going to be two ways to adapt. Number one is going to be to implement AI in your own business as a coach, as a service provider. And number two is going to be to implement AI in your offer. So how to implement AI in your business? Well, that's really a lot of what we talk about on this channel. And really, I think the AI-powered coaches will replace the coaches of today. And that's going to be things like automating your lead generation with AI, with the lead gen, enrichment, and personalized outreach at scale that AI can allow you to do. Building your own custom GPTs and AI agents so that you can provide 24/7 client support. I've done another video on this, so you can go ahead and watch this if you wonder what this is about. Or yes, creating AI workflows and automations with, things like N8N or Make.com. That's going to save you hours every week. It's going to automate some tasks. And again, it's just going to make it a better experience for the client and just increase the value of your offer. Now, what does that look like when I talk about implementing AI into your offer? And that's going to be things like kind of repositioning your coaching value. I mean, the way you charge is probably going to be on an hourly basis. I think that's pretty much something gone that, ChatGPT is going to replace to a good extent, and people are not going to pay you for your time, but they're going to pay you for what you actually provide and the value of what you provide, and repositioning your coaching value to fill in the gaps that AI will leave. So we talk about EQ, we talk about accountability, we talk about personal relationship. That's going to be the thing that you need to fill in the gap for, and that again, AI is not going to be easily able to replace. And then I think it's about creating an offer that's going to be a hybrid between you, AI, and the client, making it clear that you are using AI and that's to their benefit. It's to make your offer more valuable, to provide a better experience, provide better results, and that's really what the client is looking for. So instead of hiding that you're using AI or just do it, in the back shamefully on your computer, you put it forwards and make it clear to the clients that you are proudly using AI and you're using it to help your client better, make it more efficient. So don't hide away from AI, but actually make it a selling point. And now all of a sudden, you're not just a coach, you're a coach using the very best tools available. And that's what makes you worth the price. Okay, so let's just do a recap, a roadmap, and some to-do lists for you to take away and start implementing right now. First, understand why AI is changing coaching and what the client expectations will now be forever. Then start honing in on the things that we mentioned that still make coaches valuable. So things like, EQ, accountability, and all those things that AI can't really replace right now. Start building those assets that we mentioned, start repositioning your offer, your coaching value, make it clear that you're an AI-powered coach, and that's much more valuable for the client. And then keep updated with this stuff, follow this channel, follow my newsletter, and get really practical ways to implement AI in your coaching business. Because I really think that the value add that AI has for you and your clients is going to be massive. I think as coaches, we owe it to our client to give them the very best. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.